Wait, hold on. Let me finish.
No, let me finish.
Welcome to Let Me Finish, the weekly podcast where we discuss what the hell's going on in pop culture, current events, and everything else in between.
We are your hosts. I'm Janice.
I'm Stacy.
And I'm Jillian. Grab a glass of wine and let's get started. All right, welcome back. This is episode 31 of Let Me Finish. I'm your host, Jillian.
I'm Janice.
And I'm Stacy.
All right, ladies, so let's just get right into it. Janice, what did you do this week?
This week I was trying to get well, mostly. I had like a little bit of a sinus congestion problem all week. Mm-hmm. So I was just really trying to get home, rest, because today we're actually going out for one of my good friends, like her birthday. So we're doing like a Sunday fun day. We're going to go out to like say a lounge in Dallas, and then we're probably going to grab drinks other places. So I was trying to get well so I can be ready to go for today and then have my Monday Labor Day.
You're off tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, nice. Stacy?
Yeah. Hallelujah.
Oh, what did I do this week? Not much. I'm looking for a job. I think I told y'all that.
Yeah.
Still looking, quote unquote.
Looking for a job. Haven't found
Throwing
anything.
the application here and there.
Yeah, I haven't found anything yet.
Tell your husband, I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm looking. We did. I think it was Friday. We went to go see Equalizer 3. It was good.
You liked it?
Yeah. But
Okay.
but I like Denzel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I heard Equalizer is good, but I never watched any of them.
Any of them? Oh, girl.
It's on Stars. You can go watch it on Stars.
Okay, we need to do a movie night.
I do like those fighting movies where they just
yes.
whooping people's ass.
Part 3 was very graphic. I mean, they should when he killed him, they showed every.
You know which ones I liked? I liked the Jack Reacher ones. I was like,
Okay, so they
he
have
was
the
good
show
in Night and Day. He was good in that one too.
Oh, so you're talking about Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jack Reacher, the movies, they actually have a TV show on Prime. Really good. Me and Mom watched it when it came out last year, and the new season's coming out. And I'm actually reading the book right now.
Yeah, he's like John Wick vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so I love the John Wick movies.
I do not. John Wick is a bit much.
Like
for
I
me,
love when
I'm
like it's this one guy
it's
and
just
they
too
like
much.
kill like 20 people. Like no big deal.
At least with
I love that.
Equalizer, it's like okay, it's possible. With John Wick, there's just no way.
It's just no way.
Right.
Okay.
I hate that.
And that's what I love about
After
it.
the second, I mean, but the first one was realistic or
yeah,
more
but then
realistic.
it just got ridiculous.
And then it just got crazy, kind of like Fast and Furious.
We need,
John Wick 4 was awesome.
we need to do a movie night then, so we can watch
The
all
Equalizers?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
1 and 2 at least.
And then
1 and 2.
And then we're gonna do our annual
Horror movie.
horror movie night.
marathon. Yeah.
I'm gonna go find some.
So September we'll do action Equalizer, and in October we'll do
this.
like Stacey. You already
Stacey.
know I'm not gonna watch
Dude,
those.
I just sat here and watched.
like I don't know why you're doing
last
this.
week. I went over to my friend's house and she was like, "We have to watch this movie." It was The Pope's Exorcist.
I'm not
I heard that
watching
was
no
dumb.
exorcism.
It was
movies.
dumb, but like
watching that.
when they were casting out them the spirit or whatever, child, I closed my eyes.
See,
and I
no,
covered my
what if that
ears.
spirit landed right in
That's what
you?
I said. I was like, I don't think I should be watching this.
Okay,
This
so
is
That
dumb,
spirit
but
later right in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When spirits leave places, they always enter
I know.
somewhere else.
So I'm like, let me just go and close my eyes and cover my ears.
yeah, nice vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah, be a nice vessel.
No.
No resistance.
No,
I do when it comes to
it was kind of
supernatural
dumb,
scary movies. I'm not a big fan of those.
No.
So that's why I like the Scream movies. Like
I like
the
when
killer.
there's like a person of flesh and blood, like a slasher movie. I can deal with those all day.
Yeah.
'Cause I can kill those. Or even monsters.
You just don't like
when it comes to like monsters, like make believe monsters. I can even handle those. When it comes to spirits
and demons.
duppies, demons, no.
You
I'm
just
not
don't like
fucking with
demons
it.
being casted out of people.
with
No,
yeah.
because they land somewhere else, and I don't want my body to be nowhere around.
It's a movie.
Yeah, I think when it comes to clearly Janice is very passionate
Like,
about that.
no.
I get it. When it comes
I don't
to
want to open myself up to none of that.
yeah, anything
I don't
when it
blame
comes to the spiritual level, because like I said, I've been on my own spiritual journey, and I feel like not necessarily God and the devil kind of thing, maybe not to that level, but I do feel like maybe there's another plane where there are different
Demons.
beings or spirits or whatever,
think there's different
and then
planes.
we can open the door and let those
Yeah, I
things.
don't- There's
okay, so I
super
see.
fan.
You're like not necessarily God, Jesus, but There's other
There's stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you always talk about those kind of things, it's like we are not the only intelligent beings out there. We're not the only plane. We're not the only spiritual levels.
No.
I don't want to deal with nothing. I want to live my life in bliss.
Jill.
Yeah.
Remember
And die.
Remember that one time you were at my house and we were watching some horror movie?
Yes.
And you know how we're on our little journey? And in the movie, it was like this.
It was almost like he was speaking to us.
Literally, when that movie was over, I was on
just
my
like-
knees. I was like, I believe. I
But isn't that funny how it always goes? People be like, I don't believe, I don't know. And then the moment something scary happens to them.
Oh, it
but-
was just such a random.
But you guys
movie.
gotta understand, that's what the whole idea of faith is.
No, it was
That
so.
is
I know
faith.
it was crazy because it was just
wasn't-
me. It was just me and Jill. We didn't even plan. It wasn't like a planned
was
thing. She
random.
was just over there. I was there, and we
Hanging.
just
I
saw this
believe.
movie, and we watched this movie.
And we're
Yo,
like, we looked at each other and be like, Stacey, what the?
I was like, I believe, I believe, I believe.
Oh my god.
Jesus, forgive me. I messed up. I messed up.
Yeah, that movie.
I don't even
What's it
remember.
called?
I don't
I
remember.
can't remember. But the premise was
I don't even remember.
I do remember the premise of the movie. So what it was is that it was a preacher who pretty much was God. It's hard to
matter.
explain.
It's
Like,
hard
his
to explain.
spirit was
It doesn't
going-
matter. My question for you both is though, well, at least Stacey, because you said I believe, and then how long did it take you to stop believing again?
No,
No. In
never
the
said I
sect-
don't believe.
No. I've never said. I've always said that I'm in the place where I consider myself agnostic. I acknowledge that there's a possibility, but as far as organized religion, that I've
Well, here's the
completely
thing.
abandoned that.
Then I don't. Then. Well, I don't believe. I'm not on organized religion, but I'm definitely still. To me, I'm still Christian. To me, I'm still a believer in Jesus, the cross, all of that.
Not
I
even-
just don't believe in organized religion because I do feel like they push certain agendas on you, certain beliefs on you that I feel like you can go get that information for yourself and you don't have to sit in.
Where would you get it from? The Bible? Because that's some of the things I question as well. Like
Yeah, that's where I do believe in the Bible.
everything that the Bible says. you
so I
believe.
guess where I am.
mean, everything in the Bible is interpreted differently. So what do you mean by
Exactly.
everything it
Exactly.
says? I don't know.
That's the-
Exactly.
I'm going off of my beliefs
and so is everyone else.
my interpretation, and that's okay. Which is why I don't go to
Yeah.
organized religions.
Let's not
Okay,
get into
I
this.
think that's.
'cause
I
we
think,
get
like I
way
said,
off.
You're
we've
good.
tried to explain this. Like me and Stacey have tried to explain this, especially to our mom, which is she's very religious. But at the end of the day, I'm at the point where it's not that I do believe or don't believe. I'm in the I don't know. And unfortunately, organized religion has not shown me that it's a good place or a good
Maybe the organized religion you've been going to,
just Christianity in general.
because I have
I've
gone to plenty of
seen-
churches that are very
No.
open.
I'm saying there's probably a lot of really great churches out there, but Christianity as a whole, there's thousands of denominations. So
why I'm
they're not
non-denominational.
even they're not even on the same page themselves.
I am open to hearing all of it.
Okay, let me finish. Hold on. And at the end of the day, I feel like when it comes to, like I said, Christianity is the only one I'm really been exposed to, not necessarily other religions like Buddhism or being
Try.
Muslim or Jewish or anything like that. But I think at the end of the day, I've just seen that they've done more harm than good, and that's where
Organized religion has
I
done
no
more harm than
Christianity in
good.
general.
I think we
have
should
done
table
more harm than
this
good.
for an actual episode.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because it is a very intense topic. I think I'm not as cut and dry with it as you guys are. But I
still
have my
figuring it out.
questions as well. But I don't think but just having questions doesn't mean you don't believe either,
Right.
to me.
And for me, it's not cut and dry for me.
Me
Because
neither. I just
I-
haven't been convinced.
And I don't feel like belief systems are based on being convinced. I don't have to be convinced of anything. I'm reading it. I take parts of it that I believe. Like,
Okay.
that's why I say I'm open to hearing. I have gone to Jewish churches. I have gone to Catholic churches. I have spoken to Buddhists. Like, I listen to it all. That's why I sat there and listened to a Seventh-day Adventist, like a Jehovah's Witness. I'll sit and listen to you. Doesn't mean everything you say I'm going to be like, this is how I'm going to live my life now. I'm open to hearing it all because I feel like no one religion has it right, probably.
Exactly.
I think it's weird for me when you talk about like some religions like Buddhists and all that, because they pray to things, right? But I always thought in Christianity, the only person you pray to is God, right? So that's like
again, you have to be open to all of it. That's why I'm not going to condemn myself to say you're not hell. Yes, there's a part in the Bible that says like the golden calf and you shouldn't be worshiping that. It's like, but it doesn't also, there are other parts where they were wearing jewelry and adorning themselves. So
here's the thing. Okay. That's why there's so many questions. It's okay to say, well, I don't necessarily believe all this stuff. It's okay to not believe certain things. I don't think there's
anything wrong with questioning what's in the Bible.
Or not believing, right?
Anyways, that's what I'm saying. Okay. This is something definitely we can table it as a topic for in the future. I think it's a good
actual topic that we should have, and not just like
I said, I have.
Yeah. I think we all have very different opinions. Well, you guys have more similar opinions, and I think I have a open opinion. I have a very open mind to all of it, really.
Oh yeah, when Mom's back in town, we probably could
Mommy's not open-minded, but I'm open-minded to all of it. All religions.
I personally think I'm open-minded because I'm not going to tell anyone they're wrong or what they're doing is wrong or what they believe is wrong. That's not me. I'm very open when it comes to religion.
I will. If I see you on some bullshit, I'll tell you you're on some bullshit.
Who am I to judge? You do you and I do me.
My thing is that when it comes to faith or your religion, as long as you're practicing your faith and religion and you're not negatively affecting and harming someone else who's not a part of your religion, we can be cool. But once your religion crosses over and bleeds into somebody else's life and you're negatively affecting them, but that's when I have a problem.
But then that's when people are hiding behind religion for their negative or their evil behaviors.
A lot of people do.
That's not necessarily the religious beliefs, but because they're using it as their their cape doesn't mean that's what that religion means.
Exactly.
So
when it comes to faith,
I'm not going to blame a whole religion because evil people.
That should all be personal, and that should be your relationship that you have with whoever your gods
and stuff, because of how they were treating her and people she knew. I'm like, stop going to those churches. They suck. But anyways, we'll table this for another topic.
Discussion that we should.
We'll get on to our
chokeholds. Good topic though.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't really do anything this week. Just work. The end of the month is killer for me, and I'm glad I have my
situation with work. Is that kind of settled down?
Over it. Okay.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. Just like I said, just moved on. I'm over it. Everything's good. Like I said, end of the month, I'm pretty much buried in stuff. So towards the end of the month, I don't have time for anyone else anyway. So that's pretty good. But yeah. And so we're gonna go into our chokeholds real quick. Me personally, my timeline on my social media has been completely overrun with everything going on with Coco Gauff and Laura Siegemund. My personal opinion was, I'm happy that Coco Gauff, which anyone knows the situation.
So go back and tell the situation.
So this is one of the opening rounds of the U.S. Open, and I'm not a tennis fan. I don't watch tennis. I don't know all the rules, but supposedly there's time limits as far as when you in between serves and stuff like that. And Coco Gauff's opponent, Laura Siegemund, she was taking, I guess she was trying to get into her head and was taking really long in between sets or in between serves. And finally Coco Gauff, because the game was going so slow, so she couldn't really build up her momentum, which I think that was the whole point of what Laura's trying to do. Finally she got to the ref and was just like, she should have a time penalty eventually, and she's supposed to be ready when I'm ready to serve. And I guess eventually, because the crowd was noticing it too,
everybody
got into
because the ref was just like, she's at a different pace, and she's like, that pace is too slow, there is time limits. And
the ref should have called it out.
She had gone through multiple matches where she had not been ready when she was ready to serve. And in tennis, by the time that person, a certain time limit, and when they're ready to serve, if they're not on that receiving end, they're able to just serve. And if you miss the ball, you miss the ball. And I think that was being completely overlooked, and that's why she was upset.
Yeah, so she went to the judge or the ref, or however you call them in tennis, and said she needs to be ready. You're not calling her out. She's taking too long. And the ref was trying to gaslight her, telling her you're moving really fast, and she's like, no, I'm going normal pace. Ask anybody.
Even the commentators were saying, "Oh, good that she said something," because it was quite obvious.
Well, she said that. She said that any ref here will tell you I'm taking normal speed and she's taking extra long, because she was going to sit down,
yes,
and going back to her little spot anytime she was getting ready to serve. Like, she's supposed to be serving. Like, she's supposed to serve, and you're going to go sit down.
Correct. So yeah, so she was just taking a really long time and taking breaks when she shouldn't have been, and she finally called her out, and they did get the time limit, and she ended up winning. I guess you have to get best 2 out of 3, and she lost the first set and then won the last 2, and I'm glad she stuck up for herself. But then also I find it funny at the press conference, the Laura lady, she started crying, talking about the crowd treated me wrong. Please. And I think what happened was you didn't realize you were going to be the villain in the situation. And now with your tears, she was trying to make herself into the victim, which I thought that was bullshit. No, you know exactly what you were doing. You knew you were cheating. You knew what you're doing was wrong. And now you want people's sympathy. No, go ahead and get on your plane, go back home, be gone. So I just thought poof. Poof, be gone.
Poof, be gone, bitch.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So
I'm just crocodile tears.
Yeah, right? Pretty much crocodile tears. So I'm just glad that she's 19. This lady that she's playing against, she's twice her age, been playing longer than she's been alive. She stood up for herself and stood her ground, and I'm glad for her.
That crowd was cheering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's now in the round of 16 right now, so good for her. Hopefully she wins the whole thing.
Okay, well, I have something. I'll make it quick. I had 2, but I'll just do 1. So this already went into effect September 1st. So in
Texas,
because I don't think it's everywhere. Well, a lot of places don't even have taxes.
A lot of places, not everywhere, but Texas was one of the states that has
Texas
the pink tax.
Now, the following items will be tax-free. So it's family care items. It includes, one of the main things that's important to me, it's all feminine hygiene products are going to be tax-free. But it also includes like baby bottles, baby wipes, breast milk pumping products, maternity clothing, which is big, and then like wound care items like dressings and stuff like that. So it's a start.
Should be tax-free.
I mean, I personally think like feminine care hygiene products should be like free.
Those are essentials.
Those are like essentials.
I mean, so what's going to be free though? The basic ones, cardboard.
Yeah, let me like.
I'll go buy them.
Yes, at least
credit
give us an
or
option.
something.
Yes,
or free ones. Can go get the nice tampons or pads or whatever. But
I need the nice
I feel like something like that. I mean, really, why were we taxing it to begin with? But hey, it's a start, and I'm happy about that. So,
and I tell you right now, I'll be going to like CVS and Walgreens trying to get I'm like, dang, y'all are.
It's so expensive.
Really gouging me for something I have to get.
It's gotten so expensive.
Yeah, it's like $12.99 for a box.
For a box,
okay, y'all tripping. All right, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
so I'm glad they're going tax free.
I mean, it helps.
I mean, they just took away our. Take away some of our womanly rights. So give us a couple back.
Yeah. You got anything, Janice?
Oh, yeah. So my chokehold was, so I used to watch this show called Teen Mom.
Oh, I did too.
I don't know who all watches it still, but I know Teen Mom 2 was like my favorite, and the girl Janelle Evans was on the show. Janelle and Barbara.
Janelle.
Crazy. So, she's not had custody of her son from like almost the age of like 2 or 3, like pretty young.
Yeah, from a baby.
Yeah, and so the mom's had it the whole time. Well, they finally gave custody back to Janelle. She has 2 other kids. She's married. So they gave custody back. Well, now this little boy's running away left and right. Girl, he done ran away. The cops found him, and then he attempted to run away like 2 other times.
How old is Jace? Like 12,
I think he's
13?
Like 13 or 14. Yeah,
because all those kids are so grown now when I see them.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, little boy's running away. He's clearly unhappy. Let him go back with his grandma.
Send him back to Barb.
Send him back to Barb. But Barb is his mom. Mm-hmm. You are his egg donor. So at the end of the day, she just needs to get over it. Probably give this boy back to the mother that raised him, right? And let him be happy. I mean, at the end of the day, you're still going to be in his life. But then a part of me is like, do you give in to that kind of rebellion either? Because
I think
that's not his choice. But usually they give the kids the choice of where they want to live.
He's been with the grandma for so long, though. Right. Just the fact that they even uprooted him.
Old routine.
I mean, yeah.
Like it's going to be a hard adjustment.
It is.
I don't necessarily think that it's Janelle. That's the problem. I think it's David.
And there's other kids.
100%,
there's other kids in the home.
She doesn't realize.
In the home as well.
Like,
yeah, I don't think she'll ever pick her kids over David.
Oh, never.
No, she'll never pick any man over her children. Like, or
She
will.
will.
She's never picked her children over any man. Every single man she's had in her life, she's chosen. Kiefer.
Oh my God, what a mess.
I say at the end of the day, I say Kiefer's better than David.
At least
Kiefer was just a normal old drug addict.
Yeah.
David's freaking insane.
Evil. He's like
he's
evil.
like insane.
Yeah.
Like he's the type of guy like as bold as I am and as smart as amount as I am. If I saw that nigga in if I saw him in the alley, I'd be like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
If there's a day
he
that
might hang me, I don't know. Like he would do it.
He's scary.
Yeah,
he's
with
scary.
David, if it ever comes out that he killed Janelle, I would not be
I'm
surprised.
kidding.
Just
We shouldn't even be
speculating.
saying
he's
that stuff, but
scary.
yeah, he's so that's
He's
how
like
he comes across
disturbing.
to me. Very much disturbing.
Like when he shot and killed that dog, I said,
I
oh,
know
no.
who does that.
I said, oh no.
David does.
He's scary. Like
Yeah.
you killing animals now, like that's psychopathic behavior. Like
Very
straight
much
up.
so.
Yeah.
You killing animals.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was my chokehold because I was just like, I done seen this article about 2-3 times now. This boy is running away about 3 times, and it's only been there for about 3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
less than 6 months.
So I'm like, that's crazy. He's clearly trying to get away from something. Probably David, because he's a boy,
yeah.
and it's not his boy.
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully they figure things out. But actually, let's just go ahead and jump right into our main topic.
All right.
Everyone knows that Mitch McConnell had another medical episode again this week where someone was asking him, is he going to run again in 2025? And he froze again and just completely blanked out and stared off into space, and they eventually had to pull him away and give him a moment to gather himself. So
How many weeks ago did the last time happen?
It was
I was
like-
Like
was
about
a
a month or so, maybe
month?
2 months.
no, it hadn't
Not
been that
even.
long.
Maybe a month and a half ago.
not long. Not
it was
long.
before. It was like before you went on vacation. It happened because we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
where he froze. It seemed like he was having a stroke. Actually,
Yeah.
it might have been after you got back.
It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. We thought that he was having a medical emergency, and people were speculating maybe. But the question on people who serve in the government, especially my personal opinion, as far as should it be for Congress, the presidency, and also the Supreme Court.
All of it, really. Any government official, I think there should be an age limit.
Yeah, representative officials, so people that we vote into these positions. So my position is that if there has to be a age minimum, which the minimum for House of Representative is 25, for Congress it is 30.
Yeah.
For the presidency it is 35. So my thing is that we all know that for you to be able to have these jobs, there have to be a level of maturity. Thus why I feel why there are minimum ages that people should be to be in these positions. I think the opposite can be said as far as age limits, because I think whether we like it or not, the older you get, there is some cognitive delay.
Yes.
Or decline, not delay, decline.
Yeah.
When you get older, and there is health issues like right now with Biden. I'm just going to be honest. He was not my first, second, third, fourth, or fifth pick to be the Democratic representative. And one of the reasons why is I thought he was going to be too old. Is this somebody I can see being able to fully do this job 8 years from now at the current age that he was? And I didn't think so.
Yeah.
He's barely hanging on right now.
He's barely hanging on.
And then he's trying to run again. I'm like, what?
And then Mitch McConnell, same thing. I'm like, why would you even consider it? Especially clearly.
He's cleared for all his He's good
Like,
to go.
we didn't just see what
And
we
I'm
saw.
like,
Like, clearly
seriously?
he's not.
That's what I'm saying. You saw what we just saw within a small space of time between the last time that happened.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
You're not okay.
And then there's also Dianne Feinstein from California. She was having medical issues. I can't remember if I think she had shingles. And she has not been to work because she's taken her so long to recover from that. And I understand why she's not stepping down. The way it's explained to me is because she's on the judicial committee. It would make it harder for Biden to put federal judges in place because they need her vote. And they feel like if they take her out, that even if they put someone else in that is a Democrat, that
the vote.
due to McConnell, they won't be able to get somebody in place, and the numbers won't be right. So whatever. I understand why they're doing that. They don't think it's right, but I think
we're just okay.
What?
So I'm just saying, it's almost the same thing as what we were talking about earlier. Like, it's not what's best for the country, but just to make sure you can get your vote or get what you want. You're gonna sit there
because at the end of the day,
that's kind of grimy.
No, it is grimy, but it's grimy in the sense that if we felt like she could be replaced, she should be or would be. Because they're going to use that to
of what's best.
No, they're going to do that, so they're not going to allow anyone to take her place. That's the problem with the Republicans. They weren't going to allow, so they can bleed just because Republicans don't like who is being selected by the Democrats. That's not fair.
Anyways, I'm just okay. So for me, let's just talk about how old is Mitch McConnell?
Old.
Let me take a look.
Is he older than Biden? Biden is 80.
He's in his 80s too. Mitch
like
McConnell,
that's to me.
Like, why would they ask
in
him
my 80s
if he's going to run again in 2025?
So think of
he's 81.
So have you ever so 81 and 80 and Biden's 80. Think about how Obama looked when he started his presidency.
How he looked when he left.
How Clinton looked when he started his presidency.
Yeah.
How Bush looked when he started his presidency. All of them look like they aged about 20 years.
Only person who did not look like they aged was Trump, but
he didn't really do nothing, and he only did 4 years.
Right.
4 years, and
he already looked like he
was already old when he went in there.
He already looked like he could just fall over. But anyways,
I hate to laugh, but it's funny when they're so old, they be like tripping going up the stairs and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So to me, it's sad because at this point in my 80s, if you really think I'm thinking about now. I'm 30. I'm 36, and I don't feel 36 majority of the days. But some of those days, I be feeling 36, right? So I'm just like 80 years old, 81. Don't you want to go sit on a beach? Don't you want to go relax? Like, maybe you shouldn't be making decisions for the entire country.
Yeah.
You're way past retirement age, because as a population, we retire at age 65. Of course, we can still work. But
right.
I rarely see people working past 75, 72, around there.
Yeah.
Like, even if they go past retirement age, they're like, oh, I don't want to be bored. And just because you don't want to be Biden, you tripping over yourself.
Yes.
You're having a hard time getting your words out.
Yes.
Right? McConnell, you freezing up. Look like you having strokes on TV.
He's like, they have to come get him.
It's time. And that's why I feel like we can talk about this, because it's on both sides. It's on the Republican side, it's on the Democratic side.
Yes, it's on both sides.
It's on both sides. Y'all too old.
Too old.
Yeah. Dianne Feinstein, by the way, is 90.
Saying you're too old to be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's too old.
You're not too old to be here.
Yeah.
You just, hang around, be a consultant or something. But I don't think you should be being able to be voted on, because if you're 80 years old now, by the time you get sworn in, you're going to be like 81, 82. So that's 86?
Yeah.
Before you done? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Like, you should be retired.
So my thing is that I feel, especially since we have such an older, because with the Senate, the average age is 64, House is 56. Mind you, the U.S. population, the average age is 38. So these people are and especially with the older senators and House of Representatives, you're voting on policies that you're probably not going to feel the full effect of, because you won't be around. Let's just be honest.
About it.
How old was Ruth when she passed away?
She was in her 90s.
Old too.
Like, but Ruth still had her little cognizance. Well, it doesn't matter. But that's what I'm saying.
She should have retired when Bush.
I'm
sorry. She should have retired when Obama was in office. Let's just be honest. She should never have just stuck around. She should have been like, I'm good. I'm retiring. I'm leaving.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Right.
That's exactly what we're saying.
Right. That's why I'm just agreeing.
Yeah, but I think,
and I'm making a point of why it should be that way.
Yeah. Also, I think that a lot of times that's another thing is I also think there should be term limits. Mitch McConnell should never have been in Congress as long as he was. Joe Biden should never have been in Congress as long as he is. This should not be a career. You go, you do your service, and you get out. It should not be a long-term career.
I don't mind the career part. I mean,
No,
I think we should have term limits.
I mean, we're voting them in over and over, aren't we?
I think people, when it
We're
comes
voting for
to,
them.
I think people are doing that and voting people, re-electing people because of brand recognition. Not necessarily that you know exactly what their policies are and you feel like
That's their prerogative.
I think there should be term limits.
there should definitely be if there's one for presidency. I think our house. How do you get new ideas in there if you're voting the same people in over and over again? And plus, when it comes to let me finish. When it comes to that, because once you get in, and because
Let me finish.
I think when it comes to both Republican and Democrat, the machine that actually get these people elected with their fundraising and who they push out, they sometimes do it based on name recognition, and they don't really get younger, newer people the opportunity to even try and compete for those seats.
That has nothing to do with the cost of tea in China, though. Like, just because somebody's voting for brand recognition, that's their prerogative. That had nothing to do with me.
But let's be honest, but you're not giving other people the opportunity to even try and compete for those things. Whenever only 2 people wanted that position, there could have been hundreds of other people who thought
there's a problem with our congregation. Then.
So wait, Janice, you're saying that you don't think that we need to have term limits. You're okay with the same.
Seen an issue
you're
with
okay
that
with
part,
the same
no.
person over
If
and
we're
over.
voting them, then yeah. If the consensus is the people are voting the same people over and over, that's what the vote is. I think it should be a vote.
Then why have one for
the
presidents?
president? Yeah.
I don't know.
Because trust and believe, if there was no term limits, I would have voted a 3rd term for Obama.
Same.
So I mean, my thing is that
Same. And I would have had the right to do that.
I just think
Just like
that
you would have.
I think with term limits, because the president doesn't make the laws, Congress does. And at the end of the day, I think there needs
has
to be
some points here.
No, I get that, but I'm saying if we're having a problem with the same old ideas, then it's the people's responsibility to vote new people in.
But who is allowed to run for us to give the opportunity for people? That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm telling you. When it comes to the Democrat and Republican, who is allowed to run? You can't just be like, yeah, I want to run. No.
Yeah, that's why I said there should be age limit and a minimum and a cap. Term limits, I don't know. I don't have it.
I feel that's the only way you can get people out and get new ideas in there is if you have term limits.
I agree.
Or people can vote for the ideas that...
Who are you going to vote for?
There are no candidates that can even run against them?
What I'm saying is that they're not given the opportunity. When you're an incumbent, it is very difficult to unseat that because the Republican National Committee...
where are you incumbent? Like, what
you're
parts
incumbent,
of the government can there be incumbent states?
Right. For real, a lot of times those incumbents go unchallenged simply because of the Democratic and the Republican National Committee do not give the opportunity for people to come and challenge the incumbent for that seat. A lot of times,
so why
that
is there
person
not
either leaves, retires, or dies.
Why is there no ability to challenge the incumbent?
I think it's lazy. I think it's laziness.
So our congregation is like basically the people who vote are being lazy.
No, the National Committee, the people, the actual Republican Party and the Democratic Party. They're the ones who doles out the money to allow people to run.
My whole point is, I get what you're saying.
So they're gonna back the incumbent because they know, hey, this person's already won.
Hold on. So I'm saying, I get what you're saying as far as the people having their own same old opinions. My whole point is, why are we as people not saying, hey, we want some new, fresh ideas? And let's vote somebody else in.
That's what I'm trying to say. Even when we say we want new ideas, new people, they're not given the opportunity. It's the same people running the community.
Same old people?
You're voting for the people.
Or the people are voting for the same old people. That's what the people are doing.
I don't get to select who
gets.
For the
people.
Listen,
no.
I vote for.
I don't think you understand. When it comes to running, it's a money issue. So if you're not backed by the Republican National Committee, I as Jillian they don't know who I am. I can't go and challenge whoever, let's say Colin Allred. He's the current House of Representative who's running here in Dallas. If I want to go and challenge him, even though he's running for Congress trying to be Cruz, if I wanted to go and challenge him for his seat as an incumbent, they're going to put their money into him and not me. So that makes me even harder for me to be able to challenge, be like,
So you think
because then now it means that Colin Allred, let's say
His
we only
term is
do
up.
his 2 terms. Now you are forced
But what
to
if
find
somebody,
someone new.
what if somebody
So-
has amazing ideas, does a great job for 30, 40 years, so they don't deserve to be in that position?
So why do they have term limits on presidents then that come in and do an amazing job? They have term limits. So it's only...
I think with the presidency, it's a little different, but that's just how
But
I
like
feel.
Jillian said,
But
who's
that's
really...
my whole point. Do you really think that that's
and
gonna
it
solve
doesn't
the problem?
even have to
Term
be
limits. It's gonna solve
too.
that
It
whole
could
problem.
be.
'Cause I do still think people are going to go with what they knew, and the same thing you're saying. People are going with what they know.
But
Like,
if we
no
have
new
term
ideas.
limits, we have
If
new
they-
people.
And the new term limits are going to bring in the same person with the same, like a different person with the same opinion as this guy, and they're still
But they
gonna vote
may.
for that person.
But they may have a
Because that
different
was-
approach. Just because I vote Democrat all the time does
Sounds
not
like me.
mean that. Like when we were deciding who was going to be the nominee, there were lots of people on that stage. All of them, there were other than Bernie, technically we're all Democrats, and a lot of them had the same views. They just had different approach as how we can get to that final goal. And some people I agreed with, some are like, "Oh, I like that little idea right there. I like a little bit of something here." My personal favorite was Elizabeth Warren. But at the end of the day, the person I wanted, and the only reason why all those people were on the stage is either they were billionaires who had the money to be able to run, or there was name recognition. They already
not gonna
had been
change.
elected. And I'm just saying,
That's not
a
gonna
lot
change.
needs to change. And I feel like,
The
especially
only way you can
you have to
run
be
is
older.
to be
We
rich.
need younger people more engaged. We need
Definitely
more women
need younger
engaged,
people.
more people of color engaged, so that the people who represented us,
Okay.
it's more
Which
reflective
is going back to
of
my
society.
first the interaction.
But you're voting for who they put in front of you to vote for. If they had term limits, then we would have fresh faces in front
so
of
that
us.
term limit. So let's say, yes, you're at your term limit. You're just going to coach the next guy next to you to give you the same exact things you've been saying to make sure that you're the nominee and that you're going to get the votes, because people are going to go with what they've been knowing, just like you said.
And I think term
what's the
limit,
difference?
and like saying when it said it gives new people the opportunity. That's how you get
You're
a
still going
Barack
to have
Obama.
to be rich. You're still going to
That's
have to
how-
have notoriety.
You don't have to be rich, because at the end of the day, Barack Obama was he was
He was a senator.
a senator. But let's be honest,
Anyone rich?
I wouldn't say. I mean, I wouldn't.
He wasn't poor.
He wasn't
I
poor.
didn't know any person could run for a government official without having some.
I mean,
big
but
bank
he was.
behind
But let's just say, not the money to be able to bankroll something like that all on his own. No, absolutely not. I would
no,
say
that's why you have. That's why they do the tours and they get the sponsors and they get the donations. That's what they
Yeah,
do.
but guess who pays for all that shit? The Republican National Committee.
Like I said, I just
If you're not,
sounds like there's more of a problem with the voting.
I mean,
the
yeah, there is a
voting- the
lot.
voting pool
There's a lot
more so than
I don't.
the term.
No, I don't, because
problem.
there's a lot of people that are not engaged on a day-to-day basis when it
Exactly.
comes to politics.
Exactly.
And I don't think that's. I don't think you should be blaming people. People got lives. People got out here working every single day. Not everybody has the opportunity to be on their phones, looking at every article, looking at every.
Well, some people just don't vote
Look.
because they don't like what's put in front of them.
Exactly.
So they just don't vote.
A lot of people don't participate because they're
And
not
that's
given.
not going to
We're-
change.
If we have term
but
limits,
what
we
I'm
might have
saying-
some different faces, different names.
I'm just saying, we
Different
should.
people have the same-
You're not. It's something new. How do you even know there's something new out there if they're not even given the opportunity to voice that opinion or that idea?
Okay, so you feel like putting a term limit is going to solve that problem?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
It's a start.
I think we all. I mean,
I think that's true. It's a start.
yeah.
Maybe.
I think it's a start. I think
I
there
think it's a
absolutely
start.
needs to be.
Definitely not going to change.
No, it's like I said. As far as term limits, it's a start.
Okay, so I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, if you feel like that's a start, I think it could be a start, maybe, because I guess at the end of the day, we do need to get some of the older people out. So, because you said something you told me earlier, you said that like the majority of the Congress or whatever is like in non-voting people, or
Okay, so when it comes to like the baby boomers,
Right.
they're overrepresented as compared to the U.S. population in Congress.
okay.
So
Then that I could see where
Yeah.
term limits would come into effect.
right, serve in Congress, they can. Maybe
into the
not
limit.
the ones as old as McConnell and Biden, maybe some of the younger baby boomers. But at the end of the day, I feel like yeah, I think when it comes to working in the government, it should be an act of service where you go in, you do your time, and allow someone else the opportunity to also perform that act of service.
I agree.
But that's what I'm saying. But when you're in politics and you make this your career, how do you go
I don't
from
think it
being
should.
a senator to something else?
Figure it out.
Well, it's like anyone else in America.
nobody-
We all have careers, but we also have to retire at 65.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying it should be like. That's why I'm saying for me, it's more the age limit. Like once you get to a certain age, you're done.
The age maximum. There should
And
be
so
a max, yes.
the term limit to me won't be as big of an issue if, hey, by the time you have to retire by this age, you cannot run again. Like you're done. Like the incumbents and things like that, where their terms can, like with Ruth, like you know how like Supreme Court, like they don't have a term limit. Like
They're
if you had
there.
an age limit, you wouldn't have been in it that long.
Okay, yeah, I think with Supreme Court, because I don't think you should be running. You should be in there, and I still agree with them being a lifetime appointment up until retirement age.
Up until retirement.
retirement age.
That's
Yeah.
my whole point. Like, so term
Yes.
limits, maybe here, I'm sure it could affect something, but for sure, age limit. There needs to be an age limit. Hey, thank you. Again, thank you for your services. You're done.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I think with time, I think every generation has different values, different opinions, and
Things change. Times
Things
change.
change.
Things that will affect the younger generation won't affect you, so you don't care
Right.
as much.
exactly. So yeah, I think and I think that's another thing with the age limit and the term limit. It'll allow newer ideas to come in, because I always tell people there's a way certain events affect you. I know 9/11 affected me differently, where you have a younger generation and be like, I don't, it's like they're Pearl Harbor.
They don't,
They don't understand. Like, you don't understand how big of a deal this was. And they're like, they don't get it.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
They probably never will.
No.
But that's why I'm saying I feel like, sure, the term limit's a possibility, but I think with the age limit, that will help eliminate some
That
of
will
the
definitely
issues.
help. That
Yeah.
will definitely help.
Yeah.
Like, because then you can't be 65 is our normal retirement age. Why is that normal
Yeah.
retirement age for a government
Yeah.
official?
And I think a lot of times, especially with there's the age limit, as far as
70.
there's like a minimum age, there's a lot of really young people out there with really great ideas, and they're not allowed to be able to make changes that affects their generation. Whereas older Americans, we don't give them any limits, and they're making policies and
Yeah.
putting things in that then necessarily may not feel the effects of.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be here,
not
where
gonna
their
be
kids
here.
and their grandkids are going to feel the effects. So I feel like
Maybe people are living longer now.
people are living longer.
So I was like,
What's the average age?
for an American?
Yeah, like around 80?
I want to say like 80.
Maybe even less than that. I'm
Like,
not
that's
sure.
what I'm saying. For you to be still trying to run for
That's
president
too
at 80,
much. That's
when
too
people are
much. Yeah.
literally thinking, people are passing away around that age and saying they lived a full life. And you're trying to go live a life where it ages people to the extreme, and you want to go do it for another 4 years when you should be, again, playing bingo. You know, chilling.
Wait a minute.
Julian was going to say something.
No.
Yeah, I like bingo, but I'm saying go play some bingo. Go sit on a beach. Go chill.
I love bingo.
Ain't nothing wrong with bingo, but that's what I'm saying. You should be enjoying those type of things in life. Like,
Right.
just enjoy yourself. Stop trying to insert yourself into things that can affect everybody's lives when, again, just like you said, there's a bit of a cognitive decline as you get older.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
just life.
Because, yeah.
Nobody's ageism here. It's life.
Yeah, especially when in the age of social media and technology, how many of them have no clue
Right.
how to even operate those things? And there should be laws on the books when it comes to stuff like
Which is why it's
with
scary.
tech. Yeah.
Leave my life in the hands of people around my age. I don't know.
I think there's some, like I said, I love me some
There's
AOC. She is a person who's very smart. She's younger than you, Janice.
Excuse me?
How old
Yeah,
is
she is. She's only 33.
33, 34?
Oh, okay.
She's very young.
barely.
Yeah, I think she was
Only 35.
Actually, I think she's only, I don't even think she's 35. I don't even think I think she
thought she was, like,
is
around 34,
early.
35.
Well, that's crazy though for you to have, because she is pretty prevalent. So, okay, girl, go on then.
Yeah. She's 33.
Wow. Okay.
And that's one thing's for sure.
Isn't
You can't.
Buttigieg like pretty young too?
Buttigieg?
Yeah. Isn't he like 38?
Yeah,
37?
he's 30s. Ossoff is only 30 when he got elected in.
Okay, so there are some hot younger faces coming on in then.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
But it's a slow process.
And it probably will continue
Yeah.
to be, but to conclude, I do think there should be an age limit. Stacey?
I completely agree. I think that just like there's limits on my life, I can't. I mean, 65 retirement age. I think there needs to be the same for them as well.
Yeah, and this is like I said. This has nothing to do with older senior citizens.
It's
one of those
ageism.
things.
It's just life.
Yeah, it's just life, and I feel like it will give opportunities for other people to come in and also have effect on the government, which I think their other generations are underrepresented.
Let me ask a quick question. So when you look at McConnell, right? Do you
Okay.
what he's dealing with, and even some of the other ones that have dealt with a lot of health issues, and because they're old, right? Do you honestly think that they really want to stay there, or are they being almost forced to because of politics?
I think power is
addictive.
because sometimes I'm like they
So
could be
even if-
like on their deathbed, and it's still
People are
like
still pressuring them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case for McConnell.
not for him, but do you sometimes feel like it's a situation where like they
Yeah.
would want to leave,
Like
or-
that lady she was just talking about with shingles.
Yeah,
she
it's
could
like
very
these
much
people are
willing
on their
be ready,
deathbed.
but because it's not best for the
party.
Democratic Party, they're going to continue
right?
to
Because
keep her
sometimes
there.
I'm like, it's almost sad.
Yeah.
Like that.
And
Let
right
them
now,
go live.
to me, if McConnell's family is any type of family, they should be telling him you need to retire.
Yeah.
But then too, when it comes to politics, it's almost like, well, he can't right now. It's almost like no
Right.
party before everything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think almost like that's another reason why I feel like Biden got the nomination. Like it wasn't necessary that I felt he was the best candidate. I almost think like it was like it's his turn. He served his time. He's done.
It's almost.
He's
I think
done
that's how it
Congress.
was.
That's
I
how
think
it
it was
kinda
with
was.
I think
him.
that's
It
how
was
it
just
was.
like it's my turn. I'm
That's
like
exactly
what?
I do think that's how it
exactly
was.
how it was.
Yeah.
especially because he had just come off of vice presidency with Obama. So yeah, absolutely,
had-
I do think it was like it's his turn tip.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I voted for him. so
Yeah. I think
But-
that's
that was my option, but yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he was my first choice either.
Yeah. Yeah. And then because of his experience is the reason why Barack picked him, because of how long he'd been in
How long
Washington.
he had been in-
that was the
yeah.
whole reason, because he's
been here for a very long time.
Very long
Very,
time.
very
That was the
long
whole
time.
point. But it's one of those things where when that's another reason why Bush picked Cheney, was because of his quote unquote experience. But we all know that was an
And then he
awful
turned around
decision.
and screwed him.
Very much, pretty much. But I think, yeah, Cheney definitely screwed up Bush's legacy. But at the end of the day,
because I actually think Bush is a good.
I don't
I
think
didn't have a problem with Bush. I like Bush.
I do too.
Yeah, I think Cheney definitely screwed him over.
I think he was just uninformed and he let the wrong people lead him.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, this last election is like we didn't have much in front of us, and it's like
No, we didn't.
Biden wasn't my
Like
first
right
choice
now,
either. But I mean,
when they talk about young voices, even Mayor Pete.
I just wanted certain people.
but I
out.
wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna not vote
I needed
either.
certain people
Yeah.
out.
Right?
That's the only thing I
Yeah.
did.
So-
I will always vote, even if it's
Yeah,
a
I will
shitty
always
decision.
vote.
I will always
That's what I
vote.
Even if
said.
it's
For
not-
me, it was
yeah.
just like almost the lesser of two evils. I didn't
Right,
think he was
that's
a bad
exact-
choice. He just wasn't my first choice.
Right, he wasn't my first choice either, but I'm not gonna like not vote because I'm not happy
Yeah,
with the
'cause I mean,
candidates because I'm like,
I took the lesser of two evils.
That's what I did.
I did too.
I did
That's what I
too.
did.
Absolutely. Was he my favorite?
No.
Absolutely not.
And I do like him in general. I
Yes,
think
but every time
he
I
was
look-
funny and cute, and he had some good policies.
No, he
and
makes me laugh. I
He backed up Obama, so I was like, okay.
He can barely get out 2 sentences. He makes me laugh.
I'm
I'm
saying,
like-
it's sad. It's
Yeah.
sad. And that's what I'm saying. That looking at it now,
Yeah.
it's just sad. Just like I don't like McConnell, but it was sad to see him up there frozen.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
That's like seeing your grandpa up there. It's sad.
Yeah,
You wanna
It
see that?
is. It is sad.
It is sad.
It was sad.
It is
wanna
sad.
see that.
But hopefully things will change. And like I said, there is going to be a day when Mitch McConnell is no longer with us and someone new will come in. Same thing with Biden. We'll figure it out. But there definitely has to be some change. And hopefully with the younger generation, there can be. I'm hopeful for the future.
Yes.
So
Fingers crossed.
yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and finish our Sundays.
I'll
Ladies,
let y'all know how Saya is.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Let
everyone
us-
have a safe holiday. weekend. I saw quite a few cops out there. They had actually pulled somebody over when I was pulling in.
Oh yeah, I saw that cop.
You saw that?
He was posted up down the street.
Yes, and he got someone
So
too.
I'll go ahead and Uber.
So
to downtown.
they
Absolutely,
are out. They are
Janice.
out here.
Yes, I'll be Ubering.
Yes. Yeah, they're definitely out in forced Labor Day weekend. So
Yes.
yeah, hope
Be
you guys
careful.
be careful. Yeah.
All right, well, y'all just warned me. I'm going to be Ubering to my destination.
Yes.
I don't know how much I'm going to drink. So.
Okay. All right. See y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the platform you're listening on and leave us a review.
We want to support local businesses, so if you'd like us to shout out your business, or if you have a topic suggestion, or even questions for our QA section, we want to hear from you. So reach out to us at letmefinish@gmail.com.
You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Let Me Finish. Don't forget that the E in me is the number 3. You can find me at New Jillian Houdis on Instagram. Stacy, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Mrs. Cams01. I'm also on TikTok, Mrs. Cams01, MRSKAMS01.
And Janice, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Uniquely Janice, and Facebook and TikTok, I'm just Janice Housen.
See you next week.
See you next week.
See you guys then.